Ever told a little lie that spiraled way out of control? I'm about to act out a short story where that happens, so you can hopefully have a little giggle, learn some English, and see just how messy one small fib can get. Let's begin. One Little Lie in London. The Crown and Confession was always busy on a Friday evening, tucked in the heart of a leafy London suburb. It buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses. At a snug little table by the fireplace sat Beth, Jen, and Emma, each nursing their favourite drink. Beth with a G&T, Jen a glass of Pinot, and Emma clutching her elderflower cordial with a look of mild panic. "All right, Em," Beth teased gently, raising an eyebrow. "All right, Em," Beth teased gently, raising an eyebrow. "You've barely said a word tonight. Are you feeling all right? What's going on?" Emma shifted uncomfortably, staring into her glass. What's Emma's drink? A cordial, an elderflower cordial. We've got to pretend this is an elderflower cordial. Emma shifted uncomfortably, staring into her glass. It's nothing really. Well, maybe it is. You remember my cousin Marco from Bologna? I don't know how to pronounce that. Is that right? Bologna? Bologna. 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 Am I right, Italians? Bologna. Is that all right? Bologna. Okay, so Marco from Bologna. Jen perked up immediately. "Oh, Marco, the one with the Vespa and the annoyingly perfect hair. I remember." I'm actually going to pause the story for a second to tell you about something very beneficial to you, which is that I've gone ahead and created a PDF that includes the story that you're reading with me and a breakdown of the intermediate to advanced expressions that pop up throughout. With this PDF, you will go from having heard a new phrase to being fully confident in knowing how to use it when speaking English yourself. You can grab it by scanning the QR code on screen right now or clicking the link in the description box or pinned comment below. That link will take you to this page. Fill out your name and email to sign up to my mailing list, and then I'll send it directly to your inbox. Emma nodded nervously. "Yeah, him. Well, I still got to get my glass, haven't I? Yeah, him. Well, he's arriving tomorrow, and I might have accidentally told him I live in a massive house overlooking Hyde Park." Bold, if you don't. Beth spluttered into her... hang on. Into her G&T laughing. Okay, so this is a G&T now. Why on earth would you say that? Cracking acting. Well, Emma winced. He's always showing off about his wonderful life, and I sort of panicked and told a little fib. Jen leaned forward, grinning. "Little fib? Em, you live above a kebab shop in Peckham. It's charming in a gritty sort of way, but it's hardly Hyde Park luxury." Emma buried her face in her hands. Can't do that too much because otherwise you can't hear me very well. Down here, can you? You can't hear me. No. So I'm like this. Emma buried her face in her hands. I know. Remember, this is down here. I know. Now he's expecting some posh British lifestyle, and I've been Googling how much renting a flat overlooking Hyde Park would cost for one weekend, and I nearly fainted. It's a very pretty penny. It's a lot of money. This, Beth said solemnly. This, Beth said solemnly, calls for an intervention. She leaned closer, eyes twinkling mischievously. We stage it. A temporary, illusionary posh life. Just enough to fool Marco. Interesting. Jen nodded enthusiastically. Brilliant! We'll do it British style. Lots of tea, cucumber sandwiches, and I'll borrow Mum's Jack Russell. Everyone posh has a Jack Russell. And hats. Beth added excitedly. We must wear fancy hats indoors just to baffle him a bit. That would baffle me. I don't know why. Yeah, okay. Emma hesitated. Are you sure this won't make things worse? Jen reassured her warmly, squeezing her arm. It'll be hilarious. What could possibly go wrong? The next morning, the trio hurriedly transformed Beth's modest terraced house into a makeshift mansion. How do you do that? Okay, they're about to tell us. Shut up, Charlie, just read the story. Borrowed silverware from Jen's mother sparkled on the table. Cucumber sandwiches piled high, and Beth wrestled a bow tie onto the distinctly unenthusiastic Jack Russell Alfie. The doorbell rang precisely at noon. Marco breezed in, all Italian charm and immaculate hair. He kissed Emma dramatically on both cheeks. Ciao, Bella. What a splendid house. Ciao, Bella. What a splendid house. Is that awful? Thank you, Emma replied faintly, eyes wide as Marco surveyed the room appreciatively. Very British, Marco smiled. Very British, Marco smiled, nodding at Alfie, who promptly knocked over a vase. Emma cringed, but Marco laughed heartily. Dogs, eh? So charming. He's lost the Italian accent already. He's acclimatized, yeah? He's been in the UK for probably 3 hours now. If he came from Stansted, probably 4. Beth cleared her throat. Tea, Marco? Sì, grazie, Marco said. Sì, grazie, Marco said, settling onto the sofa with ease. The girls exchanged relieved glances as Beth poured tea. I'm sorry, I thought the girls had left. Did you think the girls had left? I thought it was just her and him now. So all 3 girls are there watching him, okay? The illusion was holding up until Marco casually said, So, Emma, I booked a hotel nearby. You know, the big fancy one next to your flat. We can stroll together to your place this evening. So where does he think he is right now? Emma froze mid-sip. Hotel? Near my flat? Si, by Hyde Park. Such a coincidence, no? Well, it wouldn't be a coincidence because he knows. It's not a coincidence. He knows, or he believes, that she lives near Hyde Park, right? Beth and Jen's eyes widened simultaneously in silent panic. I love that they're just mutely sat on a sofa watching this exchange. Marco continued cheerfully. I can't wait to see your magnificent view and, of course, meet your famous neighbour. So still, where does he think he is right now? Emma nearly choked. Neighbour? See, you know, Hugh Grant. I tell everyone my cousin lives next to Hugh Grant. Oh no, Jen whispered, eyes bulging. Beth quickly intervened, adopting a posh accent. Ah, poor Hugh is filming this weekend. Terribly busy chap. Marco looked momentarily disappointed. Oh, that's a shame. But at least I will see your luxurious apartment. Who would say that? Who would say that? At least I can see your luxurious apartment. At least I can see your flat. Or at least I can see your place. Luxurious. Emma glanced helplessly at her friends. Emma glanced helplessly at her friends. Jen abruptly stood up. Marco, you must be tired. Why don't we take you sightseeing first? Why, if he's tired, why sightseeing? Sightseeing's tiring. Bit of a gap in logic in this story. Yes! Beth jumped up. We'll show you the London Eye, Buckingham Palace, everything. Marco grinned. Wonderful. But first, I must see this legendary flat. Let's go now. Oh my God, Marco, let it go. Let it go. What is wrong with you? Emma's shoulders slumped. Like that. She took a deep breath, finally surrendering. Marco, I must confess something. Marco paused, eyebrow raised. Can you smell what the rocket's cooking? I don't actually live overlooking Hyde Park. My real home is, well, cosy, above a kebab shop. You don't need to say it's above a kebab shop at this point, and still, I'm really confused where they are right now. Surely, they're in her house. Marco stared at her blankly. Then slowly, a broad smile spread across his face, followed by roaring laughter. Bella, you think I believed you? He's definitely Italian now again. He's got Bella in there, hasn't he? The cousin who falls over her own feet could suddenly afford Hyde Park. Falls over her own feet. We don't really say that. But he's Italian. We'll let him off. Emma blinked, startled. You knew? Marco laughed harder, wiping tears from his eyes. Of course, I played along because, honestly, it's so much fun to see British panic. See British people panic. Beth and Jen exchanged incredulous looks, bursting into relieved giggles. Emma smiled sheepishly. I suppose I deserved that. Marco leaned in affectionately, nudging her shoulder. Maybe next time, Bella, aim smaller. A cottage in Surrey, perhaps. That's where I'm from, Surrey. Emma grinned and finally relaxed. I'll remember that. Good. Marco clapped his hands together. Now, please, someone pass me another cucumber sandwich. Very strange food, but delicious. Beth shook her head, laughing. Welcome to Britain, Marco. Welcome to Britain. Okay, the ending of that story was a bit lackluster, meaning not having enough enthusiasm. And as I commented throughout, there were a bunch of moments that lacked any logic. I was also really, really confused on a social level why her friends were there to greet him at the same time. So yes, this story, as you can probably tell, was created by ChatGPT. It did well in parts, but it definitely wasn't epic. I think I'll give it a 6 out of 10. What do you think? I'd like you to rate this story in the comments out of 10. And then rate my storytelling skills, if you dare. But what was present in that story was some nice advanced British English. So let's go through some of those phrases right now. We'll go over 5 of them and explain what they mean, give you some examples and show you how they're used in everyday conversation. So phrase 1, tucked in the heart of. Tucked in the heart of a leafy suburb or something like that. Actually, I said the Crown and Confession was always busy on a Friday evening, tucked in the heart of a leafy London suburb. This phrase means something is hidden or nestled as an advanced word, nestled in a specific area, usually somewhere charming or cozy. It's often used when describing nice locations. So think of hidden in, nestled in, or situated deep within. For example, there's a lovely little bookshop tucked in the heart of Edinburgh's Old Town. And you'll often hear this in travel shows or stories describing cafes, cottages, and other picturesque spots. Picturesque meaning very good looking things that you would maybe take a picture of. Yeah. The next phrase I wanted to focus on was nursing their favourite drink. In the pub scene, I described the three characters like this. I said, each nursing their favourite drink. So to nurse a drink means to sip it very slowly. So not this big glug, 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 but just very slowly, often over a long time. Maybe the person is deep in thought or just stretching out the time that they have with that drink. They don't want to lose it or use up all the liquid. They want to savor it. Maybe they really like it. Maybe it's a lovely whiskey or a lovely red wine or white wine or whatever drink you like. And some synonyms might be sipping slowly, taking your time with a drink. You're taking your time with that drink. Get it down you. Lingering over a drink. An example could be, he was nursing a pint of beer and staring out a window. Yeah, staring out the window. This one's really common in casual British conversation, especially when someone's being quiet at the pub or is lost in thought. Next phrase was clutching her drink. Clutching her drink. Emma clutching her elderflower cordial with a look of mild panic. Yeah. So to clutch something means to hold it tightly, usually because you're nervous, tense, or unsure of a situation. Some synonyms could be holding tightly, gripping, or clinging to it. Clinging. I think of like that, clinging sometimes, but yeah, you could cling to it. An example could be, she stood at the party clutching her glass of wine like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. And you'll hear this in films or books when someone is nervous at a social event. It's a great word to add emotional detail to your storytelling. Okay, the next phrase was spluttered into her G&T laughing. I did a fantastic job of acting this line. It was... Why did you say that? When Beth spluttered into her G&T laughing. So to splutter means to suddenly cough or spit a bit of your drink. Usually because you're laughing mid-sip or you're surprised by something mid-sip. It's a fun and vivid word. You could think of spit out laughing as a synonym, choked with laughter or giggled mid-sip. Those are a bit random, but they are kind of what this phrase means. And an example sentence, he spluttered into his coffee when he heard the joke. He spluttered into his coffee when he heard the joke. And this phrase adds a real sense of physical comedy and reaction, which is something native speakers love using when telling funny stories. Okay, and the next one is to baffle somebody or to baffle him a bit. What was it? We must wear fancy hats indoors just to baffle him a bit. To baffle someone means to confuse them. But in this case, it's playful confusion done on purpose. I might use it as a response, like I was baffled by what they said to me. I'm completely baffled by what they said. Yeah. Think of confused, puzzled, perplexed, those kind of words. Another example, the British sense of humour seems to baffle some tourists. Yeah, you could say that. And it's a great word to describe someone being thrown off or left unsure of what's going on. If they're thrown off, they're a bit like confused. If they're not sure of what's going on, then you could say they're a bit baffled right now, especially when it's all in good fun. So there you go. So one tiny lie, a borrowed dog, and a fake flat later. What did we learn? Well, hopefully some fun new English expressions and maybe not to lie to impress your cousin. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe if you want me to keep making more video lessons for you. And if you'd like to really master the vocabulary and phrases from today's story, remember to grab the free PDF by scanning the QR code on screen right now or clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment below. It includes the actual story and a full breakdown of the language that came up. Perfect for an intermediate to advanced learner who wants to feel confident using these expressions. And if you want to keep learning right now on YouTube, I think you'll really enjoy the next video popping up on screen right now. See you there.